Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau just became the first government head in the world to declare a war against his own self.
We will tell you all about it. Before that, if you're a fan of non-corporate monetary news and analysis, you've landed on the right YouTube channel. Okay, let's begin.
Trudeau's Liberal government is unflatteringly trailing behind Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives. Liberals' numbers are dipping 15 to 18 points lower than the Conservatives, hovering sadly between 23 to 26%. Trudeau's left-leaning policies have left everyone with truck Trudeau. I shouldn't have said truck. Anyway, even within his own Liberal Party, there is a vibe that they might soon start asking for plus ones. Justin Trudeau remains at Canada's helm only because of a 3-year pact with Khalistani terrorists, Jagmeet Singh's New Democrats. This alliance, somewhat of a political life jacket, ensures Trudeau stay in power until June 2025, despite both parties' popularity sinking faster than a lead balloon. Trudeau, alongside his band of senior advisors, attempts to throw Hail Marys in every direction, yet finds each effort more fruitless than the last. As the clock ticks with the urgency of a Quentin Tarantino flick soundtrack, Trudeau and the Liberals, in a move that screams desperation louder than a telemarketer at dinner time, decided to shed their long-embraced political narratives like last season's fashion. This drastic change of wardrobe, political style, and perhaps even soul hints at the length to which they'll go to cling to power. In a scene that could easily be mistaken for a comedy sketch, Trudeau stepped up to the microphone in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, with the air of someone about to unveil the secret to eternal youth. Instead, he delivered a line that's a lesson in irony. Trudeau began ripping into Trudeau for his reckless administration. The topic was temporary immigration in Canada, with the seriousness of a doctor delivering a diagnosis, or rather some advice on euthanizing grandpa and grandma to sound more Canadian. Trudeau pointed out that the number of temporary residents has ballooned from a modest 2% in 2017 to a staggering 7.5%. Trudeau's solution is to get things back under control. With the finesse of a magician trying to make his own policies disappear, Trudeau pinpointed the burgeoning issue of temporary migration without so much as a nod to the grand narrative he himself authored. Let's take a stroll down memory lane, shall we? Since taking the stage in 2015, the Trudeau Liberals have been absolutely reckless with immigration policies, announcing grand plans to welcome 1 million immigrants over 3 years. Not to be outdone by their own ambitions, in 2018 they decided to sweeten the pot with an extra 40,000 immigrants, aiming for a grand total of 350,000, making up roughly 1% of Canada's population. In his speech, Trudeau seemed in no mood to spare Trudeau for the callousness. Trudeau's violent shaking of the head attested to the fact that he was not going to let Trudeau off the hook so easily. Trudeau also pointed out that Trudeau's administration had no plans to pay for this massive wave of immigration or deal with issues related to housing, jobs, taxes, and ensuring Canada's economic engine could handle this influx of new immigrants. Canada's open door policy for refugees printed like an Olympic runner, particularly with the 25,000 Syrian refugees welcomed within the blink of an eye, or a 2-month window. In 2015, this act was deemed problematic by no less an authority than the president of the Canadian Immigrant Settlement Sector Alliance. Cue the dramatic gasps. Then there was a 2017 sequel featuring Haitians streaming across the US-Canada border. Then there is the tale of temporary foreign workers. Trudeau had previously castigated his predecessor, Stephen Harper, for expanding the Temporary Foreign Workers Program, or TFWP, an initiative he later seemed to embrace with the enthusiasm of a fresh convert and even expand on it. Trudeau, after becoming the PM, executed a masterful about-face on temporary work permits. Picture this. In 2015, the starting line was just over 310,000 permits. Fast forward to 2022, and Canada is almost hitting 800,000. It is as if Trudeau mistook the accelerator for the brake pedal. But the Speaker Trudeau made Prime Minister Trudeau shit his pants when he asked questions about all the aforementioned things. The audience clapped nervously, not understanding which Trudeau were they clapping for. When we talk about Trudeau, we need to at least make a passive mention of Trudeau's second-in-command, Chrystia Freeland. Chrystia Freeland seems to have cracked the Moscow code, and she is now advising Western governments on Ukraine and the sure-shot way to defeat Russia. Here is a report about Freeland's delusions of grandeur.